Hello friends, let us now learn some important points about the substance abuse disorders. So, substance abuse disorders, we are going to learn first about the alcoholism. So, most common substance of abuse in India is alcohol. Most common substance of illicit use in India is cannabis. Then, this is given in AIMS 2019. Okay, most common substance of abuse in India is alcohol. Most common substance of illicit use in India is cannabis. So then what is abuse? The abuse can be either physical abuse, psychological abuse, legal abuse or social abuse. First we will have to learn about the dependence. Okay, first we will see dependence, then abuse, then intoxication, then reverse intolerance. So first dependence. According to ICD-10, dependence contains the following: 3 out of 6 should be positive. 1. Tolerance, that is increased amounts of alcohol or some substance used for same pleasure. That is, in the first day you will use 2 that is 250 ml of alcohol. In the second or third day you will start increasing the dose to get the same pleasure. That is tolerance. Then we have withdrawal. Withdrawal is the physiological symptoms that develop when the substance used is stopped. That is, after stopping alcohol, the symptoms that the patient develops is withdrawal. Third, craving. Craving is strong desire to take the substance, is craving. Then fourth feature for dependence is compulsion. He feels that taking the substance is a compulsion and he cannot avoid it. Then fifth, take the substance even despite of knowing the harmful consequences. Though the many patients know that alcohol can cause liver cirrhosis or any damage, but still they will take the substance. 6. Prioritization, that is lack of alternative pleasure and overwhelming involvement of having or seeking the substance. That means they do not have any other prioritization. They cannot shift their mind to other alternate pleasurable events. So these are the 6 important features of dependence. Among these 3, in any person, if there are 3 out of 6 are positive, then we can name the person to be dependent on the substance, preferentially in this class alcohol. Next, abuse. In the abuse, this dependence is according to ICD-10. Abuse is according to DSM-4. According to DSM-4, 1. Failure to fulfill obligation at work or school or home. He is not able to do his work or has good relationships. Then 2. Substance use in a situation where physically hazardous, that is while driving. While driving, if the person starts using the alcohol, that is second feature. Third feature, because of this substance, if the patient lands up in problems, legal problems. Fourth, if there are any social or interpersonal problems. So out of these 4, any one or more is positive, then we can call it as abuse. Then we have one more term which is important, that is intoxication. Now in the intoxication, it is a transient condition following administration of a substance. Intoxication is a transient condition following administration of the substance. That means just after administration, the patient starts difference or changes in consciousness, thinking, perception and behavior. Those changes are called as intoxication. Then the last term is reverse tolerance, that is amount of intake will decrease. There will be decreased amount of intake due to end organ damage or hypersensitivity of receptors. Due to end organ damage or hypersensitivity of receptors, the amount of intake of alcohol will decrease. This is called as supersensitivity of receptor. So if you see the picture, I will draw a graph to know it clearly. So here this is the graph which is showing the increase in blood alcohol concentration on the Y. So slowly, as increasing the blood alcohol concentration, he starts developing the acute tolerance. Okay. Then in India, if the alcohol level, blood alcohol concentration is more than 30 milligrams per deciliter, then challan is given. In UK, if the blood alcohol concentration is more than 80 milligram per deciliter, and in USA, if drug alcohol concentration is more than 100 milligram per deciliter, then a challan is put. So this is the blood alcohol concentration. At the top, the patient develops acute tolerance. Then this is the falling blood alcohol concentration. Slowly, here when the blood alcohol concentration starts to fall, then the patient develops acute tolerance. Then this is the raising blood alcohol concentration, where you see more behavioral side effects are seen. Right? So now let us learn some important points about the alcohol. So alcohol, this is very important. Okay, standard drink or 1 unit of alcohol contains 10 milliliters of absorbed alcohol or 7.8 grams of absolute alcohol. They have 10 milliliters of absorbed alcohol or 7.8 grams of absolute alcohol. Then we have arak. Arak is actually a country made liquor. Then alcohol is absorbed mainly from the stomach, especially in 10%, and it is absorbed in small intestine, especially in 90% in small intestine. This alcohol, the peak blood concentration of alcohol is around 30 to 90 minutes. Then we have something called as Mellanby effect. Mellanby effect is presence of intoxicating effects of alcohol is more when blood concentration is increasing. When the blood alcohol concentration is increasing, then the acute intoxicating effects are more. That is Mellanby's effect. Then alcohol also shows reverse tolerance, that is decrease in amount of intake of alcohol, mainly due to the end organ damage. We will have to know the substances which will show reverse tolerance. Substances which shows reverse tolerance include, these include alcohol, cocaine, amphetamine, opioids and cannabis will show reverse tolerance. Alcohol, cocaine, opioids, cannabis and amphetamine will show reverse tolerance. Then if you see, the important thing is about the metabolism of alcohol. In metabolism of alcohol, 90% of alcohol is absorbed and it is oxidized by the liver, whereas 10% of alcohol is excreted by kidney and lungs. 90% of alcohol is oxidized by liver, 10% of alcohol is excreted by kidney and lungs. And this alcohol through the lungs is assessed by breath analyzer. Then if you see, rate of oxidation of the liver is equal to 7 to 10 grams per hour. Alcohol gets converted to acetaldehyde in the presence of alcohol dehydrogenase. This acetaldehyde, in the presence of acetaldehyde dehydrogenase, it forms acetate, which gets converted to carbon dioxide and water. Then if you see the clinical features of alcohol, or that occurs due to alcohol intoxication, at the blood alcohol concentration of 20 to 30 milligram per deciliter, there will be slowness in performance of motor performance and there is decreased thinking ability. Then at 30 milligram per deciliter, illegal limit of driving, it is the illegal limit of driving in India, which you should remember. Then at 30 to 80 milligrams per deciliter, there is worsening of motor performance and decreased thinking ability is seen. There is worsening of motor performance and decreased thinking ability is seen at 30 to 80 milligrams per deciliter. At 80 to 200 milligrams per deciliter, you will see incoordination, judgment errors and mood lability is seen. At 200 to 300 milligram per deciliter, we see presence of nystagmus, slurring of speech, alcoholic blackouts are seen, and the patient cannot recall the event. Then at more than 300 milligram per deciliter, impaired vital signs can be seen and there can be probable death. So these are the important clinical features which you should remember in alcohol. So the thing which you should definitely remember is at 30 milligram per deciliter there is illegal limit of driving in alcohol. At 200 to 300 milligram per deciliter there is nystagmus and alcoholic blackouts. At more than 300 milligram per deciliter there is impaired vital signs. Then we have to learn about alcohol withdrawal. Alcohol withdrawal are the symptoms that develop after the cessation of alcohol intake. Just after the cessation of alcohol intake, all the symptoms that the patient develops is alcohol withdrawal. So, at 6 to 8 hours, the first most common sign, that is tremulousness and coarse tremors, are seen at 6 to 12 hours, and the patient also starts developing GI symptoms like nausea and vomiting. There is sympathetic overactivity like arousal and anxiety can occur, and there is also sweating, hypertension, mydriasis and tachycardia are also seen in these situations. At around 12 to 24 hours, we see alcoholic hallucinations are seen. These are most commonly auditory hallucinations are seen from 12 to 24 hours. Then from 24 to 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours, we will see alcohol withdrawal seizures are seen, which are GTCS, that is generalized tonic clonic seizures type, are seen, and here the patients will have more than one seizures are seen for 3 to 6 hours, and these are called as cluster seizures. If there are more than one type of seizures for 3 to 6 hours, then that is cluster seizures. Then at 48 to 72 hours there will be delirium tremens. Delirium tremens, if untreated, then it can go to mortality, especially the mortality rate is 20%. Delirium tremens is disturbances of consciousness are seen, and there is disorientation to time, place and person is seen, and here the patient also will have visual hallucinations are seen with coarse tremors and autonomic hyperactivity. So these are seen in alcohol withdrawal, right? Then we have some disorders which are induced due to alcohol, that is alcohol induced disorders. These include alcohol induced psychotic disorders, and we have alcohol induced bipolar disorders. Then we have alcohol induced depressive disorders, alcohol induced anxiety disorders, alcohol induced sleep disorders, alcohol induced sexual dysfunction, and alcohol induced neurocognitive disorders or amnestic disorders. These neurocognitive or amnestic disorders are short-term memory disorders. These are short-term memory disturbance is seen. So first here, what is important here to learn is first we will have to learn today about alcohol induced amnestic disorders. So in alcohol induced amnestic disorders can be divided into 3 types. We have 3 main types of alcohol induced amnestic disorders. The first type is we have Wernicke's encephalopathy. In Wernicke's encephalopathy is an acute form of alcohol induced amnestic disorders which includes presence of global confusion. Ophthalmoplegia is seen especially most commonly there is sixth nerve palsy followed by third nerve palsy is seen, and because of this sixth nerve palsy you will see horizontal nystagmus and gaze palsy is seen, and there is ataxia. So this is given by the mnemonic GOA, that is global confusion, ophthalmoplegia, most commonly sixth nerve palsy, A for ataxia. In Wernicke's encephalopathy, this is seen for days to weeks, and this Wernicke's encephalopathy will clear spontaneously or it may progress to Korsakoff syndrome. Then even after the treatment, residual ataxia may be present, may persist. Now the next disorder is Korsakoff syndrome or chronic. It is a chronic form of alcohol induced amnestic disorder. Here there is impaired recent memory, there is anterograde amnesia where there is inability to form new memory. Then most commonly there is anterograde amnesia, and followed by there is retrograde amnesia is also seen where there is inability to recall events. Then third we have confabulations. So here we have impaired recent memory, anterograde amnesia, then we have confabulations where the patient starts making false stories to fill memories. In order to fill the memory gaps, the patient makes false stories, which are confabulations are seen. So this is also seen due to the deficiency of the thiamine, and here in the Korsakoff syndrome the lesions are mainly seen in the mammillary bodies, and these lesions are symmetrical. Treatment is, here we use oral thiamine is used for 3 to 12 months. In Wernicke's encephalopathy we use high dose of parenteral thiamine because it is an emergency disorder, acute disorder, whereas in Korsakoff syndrome here we use oral thiamine for 3 to 12 months. Then the last disorder for alcohol induced amnestic disorder is Marchia-Fava-Bignami disease. In Marchia-Fava-Bignami disease we have this is a rare disorder which occurs due to long term usage of alcohol. The clinical features are it causes epilepsy, ataxia, dysarthria, hallucinations, intellectual deteriorations are seen. Pathologically, you will see demyelination of corpus callosum, optic tracts and cerebellar peduncles are seen in this Marchia-Fava-Bignami disease. So these are the three different types of alcohol induced amnestic disorders. Then we have alcoholic blackouts. In alcoholic blackouts, you will see there is loss of recent memory after intake of alcohol. There is loss of recent memory after intake of alcohol is seen in alcoholic blackouts. Here there is long term memory and intelligence are completely intact. Only there is loss of recent memory. It looks normal to an onlooker. To the person who is looking from outside, the person looks completely normal. This is not an indication of brain damage. Alcoholic blackout is not an indication of brain damage. Then we have alcoholic paranoia. Alcoholic paranoia, here you will see delusion, which is transient delusion is seen here, and it occurs secondary to alcoholic hallucination, right? So these are the important points about the alcoholic disorders. Now if you see the diagnosis, first for the diagnosis we will do screening test. The first screening test which is done is using a questionnaire, that is Cage questionnaire. Cage questionnaire is most commonly used. The first question in Cage questionnaire is, have you ever felt that you should cut down on your drinking habits? You will ask 4 questions to the patient. Question number 1, have you felt that you should have cut down on your drinking? Question number 2, have people annoyed you by criticizing your drinking? You will ask this question also. Then question 3, have you ever felt bad or guilty about your drinking? Then question number 4, have you ever had a drink first thing in the morning? Have you ever had a drink first thing in the morning? That is eye opener. So these are the 4 questions which are asked in CAGE questionnaire, and if the patient gives positive answers for 2 or more questions, then these means alcohol induced. This tells us that the patient is suffering from alcohol use disorder. Then we also have one more type, which is alcohol use disorder identification test, which is audit test, which is also done. Then we have severity of alcohol dependence questionnaire test, which is SADQ. This SADQ is used for severity. So this is severity of alcohol dependence questionnaire. Then second we have diagnostic markers. So in the diagnostic markers, first is we have blood alcohol concentration. Blood alcohol concentration is for breath analysis. So this blood alcohol concentration is checked with the help of this Widmark formula. Then we have carbohydrate deficit transferrin increases. Here carbohydrate deficit transferrin increases. This is the most sensitive and specific for identification of heavy drinking. Carbohydrate deficit transferrin is most sensitive and specific for identification of heavy drinking. Then we have gamma glutamyl transferase. This gamma glutamyl transferase is increased in heavy drinking. Carbohydrate deficit transferrin and gamma glutamyl transferase, both these return to normal in a few days after the patient stops drinking. So these 2 are important markers. And other important things are, there is increased mean corpuscular volume and increased alkaline alanine transaminase or alkaline phosphatase is also seen. So all these are diagnostic markers. You will have to remember Widmark's formula and breath analysis, which is very important. Then we have to learn about the treatment. In the treatment, treatment is of 2 types. One, we have detoxification. Second, maintenance of abstinence. Detoxification is done for 7 to 14 days. And here for detoxification, drug of choice is benzodiazepines, that too chlordiazepoxide. Then diazepam, half-life is 10 to 12 hours. Lorazepam and alprazolam have half-life of 4 to 6 hours. But if you see the chlordiazepoxide, which is the drug of choice, has the longest half-life of 12 to 24 hours. Because it has the longest half-life, so we use chlordiazepoxide as the first line and drug of choice. Because many of the alcoholics have many vitamin deficiencies, we will add vitamins also to our list. Okay, then in detoxification, the other important thing is carbamazepine is an alternative benzodiazepine, which is also used in detoxification. Then in delirium tremens and in alcoholic hallucinations, antipsychotics are used. If there is delirium tremens and alcoholic hallucinations, antipsychotics are used. Then maintenance of abstinence. So how will you maintain the abstinence? This is done by first pharmacological treatment. We have 2 types, one pharmacological treatment and non-pharmacological treatment. So in the pharmacological treatment, first we can give deterrent agents. These deterrent agents will cause irritation. Okay, so the most common example is disulfiram. Normally, if you see alcohol in the presence of alcoholic dehydrogenase, it forms acetaldehyde. This acetaldehyde in the presence of acetaldehyde dehydrogenase, it forms acetic acid. Now, this disulfiram will actually inhibit the acetaldehyde dehydrogenase. So, as a result, there is accumulation of this acetaldehyde is seen. Because of the accumulation of acetaldehyde, you will see that the patient suffers from itching, redness, decreased BP, headache, nausea and shock, mainly because of histamine release. So this results in this reaction which you see is called as disulfiram ethanol reaction which occurs. The other deterrent agents are also seen. The other deterrent agents include citrated calcium carbamide. Citrated calcium carbamide or metronidazole are the other deterrent agents. Then we have important thing is anti-craving agents. Anti-craving agents include mainly 4 types. One, we have acamprosate, then we have naltrexone, then topiramate, and serotonergic agents like fluoxetine and baclofen. Anti-craving agents are acamprosate, naltrexone, topiramate, and serotonergic agents like fluoxetine and baclofen. Then we have non-pharmacological drugs which include cognitive behavioral therapy and family group therapy can also be done. Then we have Alcohol Anonymous. Alcohol Anonymous is a self group where these patients will follow 12 steps, easy steps to prevent or to quit alcohol. So there is a logo for Alcoholic Anonymous. So if you see here, this logo contains 2 A's which is surrounded by unity, service and recovery. 2 A's surrounded by unity, service and recovery. So this is about the Alcohol Anonymous and alcoholic disorders, alcohol abuse. Thank you for watching.